A cold gust of wind sweeps across a once vibrant, bustling city to a now desolate city of post-apocalyptic South Boston. The only sound that cuts through the eerie silence is the crunch of boots on the snow, glass, and rubble. A lone figure with a cig in his mouth and a loaded rifle in hand is a man. A man toughened by the ravages of a world gone mad presses on, his eyes filled with determination. His name is Samuel, a Texan man who once held a life as ordinary as the next. Now he's on a quest that has taken him far from his southern roots, a quest to find his infant son. The sounds of the gust of wind blowing during the cold, starry nights makes him reminisce back to the past, to a time when the world was still whole. And Samuel was just a naive young farmer boy, living a simple life in Texas. His days were filled with the laughter of his beautiful wife and the anticipation of their firstborn child. However, fate had other plans. The world was thrown into chaos, a war that turned the earth into a nightmare of fire and ash. In a desperate to preserve humanity, families were put into vaults, subterranean shelters designed to withstand the apocalypse. Samuel's family was among the chosen for Vault 111, but the safety of the vault was an illusion. His wife tried to protect her baby boy, fell to a nasty fate, leaving Samuel alone with his day-old son. But even this last vestige of hope was ripped away from him in that instant. His son was taken, spirited away under the cover of darkness as Samuel went back into his slumber of ice, never to see his son again. The loss of his wife was a wound, but the loss of his son was the dagger that tore his world apart. Once Samuel was freed from his slumber and started his journey, he became hardened, and a man, but not just a man of steel, because his heart filled with a singular purpose that day. It was to find his son. Back in the present, that glimmer of hope that once sparked in his eyes, slowly extinguished by the chilling realization of the sheer difficulty that lies ahead. For the months that had passed turned into years. One day at a bar, Samuel got a tip about a boogeyman, a secretive group called the Institute, taking people to God's nowhere and replacing them with robots in the Commonwealth. So Samuel, with his skepticism and nothing to lose, travels onward to the Commonwealth. As his days of travel go on and ruined ghost towns' houses began to disappear, now turning into cracked, car-riddled roads for miles and miles. Tired with no hope of finding this Commonwealth, comes along a big sign with a car smashed into it can be seen a few yards away. Samuel runs up to the sign with the sweat of the exhausted man ready to call it a day, stops to read the sign. The sign reads, "Welcome to the..." A word is unrecognizable, covered in the muck from the war. Samuel wipes the word clean, revealing Commonwealth. With a renewed sense of a slight hope in his eyes, Samuel walks on more to face an unseen future. The questions hangs in the air, as palpable as the tension. Will Samuel find his son? What dangers lie ahead in this unfamiliar land? And for God's sake, where can I get a beer around here? Without a doubt of mine, through this story, it is certain that indeed, war never changes.